Are you searching for the flexibility of virtual learning for your child? We know no one can match the loving care you give your child at home. At Elevated Charter School, your care and our academic guidance go hand in hand. This is very important in the early years of learning. With expert teachers and flexible, interactive classes, we offer the best of both worlds. Our kids participate in real-time collaborative virtual instruction using curriculum and materials from Elevated Learning Kits shipped right to your home. Enroll now at Elevated Charter School to begin an exceptional learning path for your child.
Hi, this is Amy Edwards with Elevated Charter School. I've created an updated information session based on a lot of the questions that I've gotten from parents all around Utah. So here's a little more about us. So if you've watched the other recordings, this was in those as well, but there's a lot of new information that you're going to encounter in this one, more details. So this is our why. I always like to start with why. I hope as a parent, you are constantly asking your school or anyone who is helping teach your child, what is your why? What is your ultimate goal with my child and their learning? And at Elevated, our goal, this is our mission statement, but I underlined the key words here. Our goal is to foster in your child initiative, giving them confidence to learn new things and even make mistakes and learn from them, fostering their creativity. Again, that kind of goes along with confidence. They have a lot of creativity inside of them, but helping them to take chances with their creativity and share their ideas. Collaboration, this is both with the teacher as a partner in learning and with classmates and other students. And we want to develop critical thinking. This typically starts around grade 4, 5, 6 and goes up from there, but we plant the seeds even before that. But ultimately, our goal is to create lifelong learners. And I'm going to tell you how we do that. So the other question I feel like you should always ask as a parent is, how do you see my child? How do you see learners in general? How do you see the role of teacher? How do you see the role of school? So at Elevated, this is how we see learning and how we see our students. We want to see them interacting with each other in classes. This is one way that kids get excited about coming to a virtual class, is that they know they're going to have opportunities to share with other students, talk to other students, share their ideas about class, but also share, what did they do last weekend or what are they working on right now? So we give them those opportunities in our live classes. We also think that they should be playing games. They should be doing hands-on activities. So all of those are guided in our live online classes. We think the purpose of education is to teach kids how to think, not just what to think. We are not about content memorization. Although we teach content, we teach academic skills, but overall what we're trying to do is teach learning strategies and give them some tools they can carry forth into future learning and just into life in general, so they have the power to educate themselves if they need to. We think that everyone can learn. We think everyone has genius within them, and that the teacher's role is to inspire kids and to engage them. And if something is not working with a class or with a specific student, really the teacher is responsible for reflecting on that, maybe talking to you as the parent or talking to the student to figure out, what can I do to help this student really connect with this learning? So how do we get there? Here's where I've gotten so many questions from parents, so I added some more details about how our school works. So first of all, one thing that makes us unique is you get what we call an elevated cohort teacher. A cohort class consists of any siblings or any students in the same household. So if you are a parent and you enroll more than one student, you only have one cohort teacher, which is really nice for you because we ask you to conference with them about every 6 to 8 weeks, and you only have one conference, and you do it as a whole family, or you and your students who are enrolled. Your cohort teacher stays with you as the school years pass. And so they really build a relationship of trust. They really get to know you. They get to know your students so that when you come to them because you're having a challenge and you need a suggestion for an alternative class or curriculum or some kind of additional resources, they know you very well, so they can make some suggestions that are really appropriate for you and for your child. They can adapt assignments. Our class teachers can do this too, but our cohort teachers can adapt assignments to accommodate learning styles. So maybe we change up the end assignment a little bit so that your child can demonstrate their understanding in a way that really works for them. We can also adapt assignments to accommodate a child's interest. So we're building academic skills, but really the content is the vehicle. So we can use a little bit different content if your child is really interested in something to build those same skills, and your cohort teacher can help you out with that. We also accommodate travel and busy schedules. We love it when our families travel. Actually, there is great learning out there in the world, and I'm going to talk in a minute about some ways we facilitate learning on the go, but we encourage that, and we want to make that work for you and your family and your child so that the learning keeps going as you live your life and have some great adventures together. And as they build that relationship, they become someone you can really trust. And so if you ever have a problem or a concern, you can go to your cohort teacher who you will have built that relationship with, and you can discuss openly with your cohort teacher what your concern is, and then they can help you solve the problem or bring it to me, and we can brainstorm together how we can improve the experience. Next thing we do that aligns with our mission is we make it easy for you to have everything that you need. We ship everything you need to your door so that it's really easy for you. We ship a laptop with 5G internet already ready to go to you. If it needs fixing, our tech partner can often fix it remotely, but if needed, they will send you a shipping label by email, and you can send it to them, and they will send you a replacement as soon as possible, because we don't want your child missing out on anything because of technology. So we make that super easy for you. We ship you all the books, all the hands-on materials that you need. There might be a couple things that you need, but they're typically household items. So you have a very clear list well in advance in case you do need to get anything, but almost all of it we ship right to you. You can see math manipulatives here. Our model is based very much on hands-on learning, as well as hearing and seeing and being able to touch. So we want to engage all those senses, and so there are hands-on materials for every class that we offer. We ship you the books that you need, and if you want any additional curriculum or materials, we can order that and send it to you as well. This is a great one. We believe in flexibility. Like, we are trying to create lifelong learners, and lifelong learners understand that learning happens all around them all the time. It's not just something that happens when they're in school, whether in person or online or doing school with you. Learning is constantly available to them. And so we facilitate learning by being very flexible, and we consider parents the expert on their children. So you partner with your cohort teacher to figure out the best learning plan for your child. And that learning plan can mix and match a couple options. So we do have elevated virtual classes. We recently came up with a much better label for them, which is project-based remote learning. Because it's a lot of hands-on activities. They go through projects during class. They do a lot of work, and it really is more like remote interacting with classmates and teachers, and actually engaging in some really fun hands-on activities, as well as, especially for our littles, singing and wiggling and jumping up and down, things like that. So they're really fun. Our curriculum is real books. It's not textbooks. The closest we come to a textbook is your math workbook that the students receive, but even that, They don't have to do every single problem on every single page. We're looking at mastery. Have they learned the concept? If they've learned the concept, let's move on. We also make available to you the elevated curriculum. If you want to do it, but you want to do it offline, maybe the live class conflicts with something for you, we can ship you all of the materials, books that go with that subject, and you can do that at home when you have time. The classes are recorded, so you can watch those for reference, or you can make an appointment with the class teacher or your cohort teacher if you hit something that is challenging and you need some help or your student needs some support. They're still available to you. You can choose curriculum. The only thing we can't buy is religious curriculum. But if you have something that you know is working for your child, then your teacher looks over that and can approve that and have that shipped to you. And you can use that offline. You still have elevated teacher support. You still have subject focused teachers who can help depending on the subject, or your cohort teacher who can help. You can also take outside or third-party classes, and these can be online or in person. If you have a class in person that you go to by a private group, you can keep going to that, and your cohort teacher will check in with you on how that's going and be there to support you if you need help. So overall, we just want to make sure all of you know that we are personalizing and designing learning for the needs of each of your children, but also for the needs of your family as a whole, because some things that might work for a student, maybe the family schedule or life, it doesn't work that way. So we find something that fits both your child and your family. We have clubs. I love clubs. We do have a lot of interaction between students in our classes, but I find that in the clubs, when they are playing and having so much fun and they're doing something that they are really interested in, is where they really start socializing. So this is one way we build community. Another way we build community is Friday Fun Days. These are in-person days. There are no live classes scheduled on Fridays. And we have field trips all around the state of Utah. We rotate, so there should be a field trip near you at least once a month. All families are welcome to attend any field trip. So if we're doing something really cool that's 2 hours away from you, but you're willing to drive because your kid really wants to go to that field trip, all families are welcome at all field trips, but there should be one close to you at least once a month. And on those Fridays when you don't have a field trip close to you, we run crafts at parks, we run games at parks. If it's really cold or snowy outside, we'll do those indoors. So we do some guided activities with you, and we let the students get to intermix in person, and you as parents get to meet other parents and really find your team with your community. I've gotten a lot of questions about, well, what does it actually look like? What's a day look like? So I pulled 3 examples. You can also see this on our website. So our classes typically meet 1 or 2 times per week, and they are in 90-minute blocks. Now, nobody panic over the 90 minutes. That is the blocked time that the class teacher has set aside to just focus on that class. So the instruction part of the class may be an hour, it may be 45 minutes, it may be 90 minutes with a lot of breaks here and there. So they break it up how they feel is the best for the class. And then they will stay. And if any students still need help, they can stay and talk to the teacher, finish up what they're doing. With kindergarten, first and second grade, a lot of their assignments are done in class. So there's not a lot of extra work at home. We provide a lot of practice materials, but we do competency-based education, which means once the child has mastered something, then we move on to the next challenge for them. Our kindergarten classes end by 12. That's on purpose because our little ones sometimes get really tired in the afternoon, but the teachers are available until 4 p.m. So they are available all day long, Monday through Thursday, to if your child needs more time with the teacher. There also be in those blank spaces, there will be support sessions, which I like to call gaming sessions because they focus on games, and there will be virtual socializing activities. So there's time in there if you need your child online, or you need your child to have more teacher time, we can accommodate that. But if you're worried about them being online a whole bunch, you can see that there's a lot of breaks in between and a lot of time for them to step away. We do not require a daily login. We do not require a minimum amount of time online. I would love for your kids to take the elevated live classes, but if they opt to do some other options, that is okay. And if they want to take one or two classes, or you feel like I love teaching science or social studies to my little one, but I really need some help teaching reading or math or vice versa, then they are welcome to take one or two classes this way and then fulfill the other course requirements with other options. So lots of choices. Here is a typical third grade day, and fourth and fifth grade look a lot like third grade because we do a lot of mixed aged classes, and I have done this model for a long time, and mixing those ages really works well. Kids learn very well from each other. It's a more natural environment for learning. And you'll see as you get into third, fourth, and fifth grade, because we do have those mixed ages, those combined classes, you have options and times and days of some class. So your student wouldn't take literary explorers at both of these times. You would choose either 8:30 or 10:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Same with science. You could choose Monday or Thursday. So you get a little more choice here on these. And I think there is another option for history explorers, but for third graders, it conflicts with math. So we help you put together that schedule. Again, they can take one class, they can take all the classes, and then there are some clubs available for them. These are all the clubs that would be appropriate for that age group. And this is a typical sixth grade day. And next year, we will expand to grades 7, 8, and 9, and grades 6, 7, and 8 will all look very similar because that's another age group that we like to mix. You might notice that sixth graders actually have less class live time. Again, these blank spaces that you're seeing will be filled with a lot of activities, teacher office hours, support sessions. So if they need help, the teachers are there from 8 to 4, Monday through Thursday, to help them. So but the reason they have a little less time online is, one, because we teach humanities, which covers both the language arts standards and the social studies history standards. For actually grades 6, 7, and 8, we dip in each one and then we rotate each year what our theme is. And there's a lot of choices in projects and books for our older kids. There's some choices for the younger kids, but our sixth graders, we really are trying to guide them into making some of their own choices for the content they use to learn the skills. So they need time outside of class to do their own project because it's different from the other kids. And then they share that with the class when they come back, which is wonderful. I've seen so many students inspired by fellow students. It's really fun. So that's what a typical day looks like if you're taking our classes. Might look different if you do some other options. This is the other question that I have gotten so often. So here it is. Unveiling funding and how does it work? So I know a lot of schools give funds. We and some of them break it up in a different way. Our funds that are available, the $1,500, we do not break it up and make you divide that between different things, but your cohort teacher will meet with you and make sure your core classes are covered so that you're not suddenly surprised and you don't have funds, but you need some core curriculum. So we make sure your core is covered, and then it is up to you what your child needs. Partnering with your cohort teacher, we like a well-rounded education, so you can use those funds for the curriculum needed for the elevated classes. So this 175, that's for the whole year, and you're basically just paying for the materials and books because the teacher is already included with your enrollment. You can use this for curriculum you've chosen that your cohort teacher has approved. You can use this for outside third-party classes, extracurricular activities. You can use it for other educational materials and experiences, like a microscope or puzzles or games or whatever your child needs to really learn those goals for their grade level and what they are ready to learn. You can also use it for passes or tickets to zoos, aquariums, museums, so that you can go outside of our school field trips. We can only pay for the student, but at least that's something. But in addition to those funds, what's covered just by enrolling is the new Chromebook with the 5G internet, and that includes us paying for the internet during the school year from August to May. And that's included. That doesn't come out of your funds. That is, everybody gets that. And your cohort teacher is included, your class teachers, instruction, and any extra support sessions, whether there are gaming support sessions or a one-on-one with specialized teachers or your cohort teacher, all IEP 504 in I said intervention support classes, and also print and digital resources. Those are all included when you are just an enrolled student. And field trips, if it's a school organized field trip, then your student is covered. In kindergarten through 6th grade, the students are always covered. And parents and siblings are welcome to join us on field trips. And we typically get a really good discount since we are a school and a nonprofit. So, who is Elevated a good fit for? I am so excited to bring Elevated as a charter school to students all over Utah. And I would love you to all join us, but I really do want families who this is a good fit for because I want you to be happy. I want your kids to learn. They're going to learn if it's a good fit. So these are just some groups that I have found this model is a really good fit for. One is families who want to learn together. So school doesn't necessarily stay at school. They want to be able to engage in some family conversations about what's being learned. One way that we facilitate that is our live classes in science and social studies. All grades K through 6 cover the same basic topic. So this year it's life science for science and it's world history for social studies. And they, of course, cover it in different ways because of age and grade level and ability, but they could be talking about very similar topics that they've each learned and share what they're learning. And that's only with the elevated classes. That doesn't mean that you have to do life science if you decide to choose an outside curriculum. You can do the science that you want to do, but talk to your cohort teacher because you might want to know what next year's topic is. Parents who need or want a teacher partner. So a lot of us are bringing kids home to learn. We have found that we really want them at home, but we have parents who work part-time, even parents who don't work. You can't always cover all the subjects, or maybe teaching one subject really butts heads with your kids. So if you want that teacher support, we want to provide that for you. And your cohort teacher supports you in the way that you communicate with that teacher that you want to be supported. So if you need a lot of hand holding, this is brand new, you're bringing your kids home for the first time and you want a lot of hand holding, let her know that so that she can do that. If you want more freedom and you feel really confident about one of the subjects or something that you're doing with your kids, let her know that and she will check in with you, but won't be overreaching with you. We're a really good fit for families who travel. That laptop has the internet and it goes with it. So if you want to take it with you when you travel, but also we're a good fit for families who travel because maybe you want to travel in the middle of the school year and you don't want your kids facing a computer the whole time you're traveling. So talk to your cohort teacher, adapt some assignments so that she can figure out some things your child can be doing that would just be part of your trip, which also helps us foster lifelong learning so that children learn that learning is everywhere. Um, Competitive athletes and young performers, we understand their busy schedule. I homeschooled one of my kids because she was a competitive dancer and an actress for a long time as a child. So we understand how 1 week might be show week or tech week or the finals in your sport. And so for that week, you might need to pause, and then your cohort teacher will help you make a plan for completing assignments like the next week when things have calmed down a little bit. Kids who need to love learning. I've talked to so many parents who have children who've had really negative experiences with learning. And we want to foster a love for learning in your child. We want to build their confidence back up if they've been feeling a little defeated. Throughout everything we do, we focus on positive reinforcement and we focus on building kids' confidence and giving them learning strategies so they feel empowered to learn and they have tools to feel really successful. Families who have health concerns. I have had a lot of students do really well in this model who have a lot of doctor's appointments, or they have health concerns, or they have family members with compromised immune systems. You don't have to miss school because you're sick. I mean, if you're feeling really awful, go to bed and watch the recorded class or catch up in a couple days. But if your child is feeling okay, but wouldn't go to school like that, they can always turn on class, listen. They can have their camera off if they need to for that day. So it's a really good fit for that. And I've also seen great success with students who have IEPs or 504s or just need some personalized attention. We provide all those services. And with this model, it's really easy to personalize those. So you're on a learning journey, and I just wanted to wrap up with who are your guides? If you're going to go out on a new path, then you need to trust your guides. So, a little bit about me. I'm the executive director. I was the founding board chair and wrote the academic portion of our application. Um, I actually created and implemented this model privately for 15 years. So, even though we are a new charter school, I know this works because I did it for 15 years and it was very successful. I have hundreds of former students who are now in college, who've started their own businesses, who just are very successful adults. Makes me feel a little old sometimes, but it's a good thing. So I know that this model works. The mixing aged classes, the working where your child is and progressing as they need to progress, the use of real books. I know all of the components of this model work because I have that experience. So don't be afraid that we're new. The model itself is not new. And I'm so excited to bring it as a charter school so it's available to everyone for free. When I did it as a private program, it was expensive for families to do. So I'm really happy to bring it to a broader audience. I homeschooled my own children for 20 something years, and this model actually was born out of a need my own children had for more than just sitting with me and learning with me. And so that's how it started. And then it grew from there into a program. My own kids went all the way through it. And then even after them, it kept going. And it enrolled hundreds of kids every year. So, but it grew out of what I knew I needed as a parent to really round out my kids' education and partner with people who could support me in that. I have been a K-12 teacher. I've taught every grade from kindergarten through high school for about 30 years. So I'm also very familiar with what schools need, what we need to document to make everybody happy. But I'm also very experienced in adapting what your child needs into documentation that makes everybody understand what our students know and what they can do and how far they've progressed. I have my elevated team of teachers, and they can't be revealed yet. You'll find out who they are in July. But I chose these teachers because out of all the teachers that I met with, these were the teachers who really dug into the elevated model. They went through the website and clicked on everything and read everything. And some of them even pulled up our charter application to read it, and they are so excited to teach in this model. Most of them said to me at one point when we were visiting that they love this model and they love that they're going to be able to teach in this model because they just feel intuitively like this is how they should be teaching, but they haven't been in an environment that would allow that yet. So they are excited to embark on this with you. They're excited to be cohort teachers and get to know whole families really well. Our teachers focus on one subject. Um, and they teach multiple grade levels, usually like 3 grade levels. So there's no second grade teacher. There's a language arts teacher for kindergarten, first and second, and a language arts teacher for 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what this does is these teachers really get to dive into their subject. And what I have found with this is that teachers produce more creative lessons. They come up with these great ideas that are easier to come up with when you're focused on one subject than when you're trying to juggle 4 or 5 subjects. So, and they are all very happy about the subjects they are teaching. So their excitement will carry over to your kids. Also, our teachers are trained in not just how to teach online, but how to make it truly interactive, how to facilitate the students socializing and making that part of learning. They are specifically trained on that. Last slide, this is how you get in touch with us. If you have more questions, there's a lot of information on the website, but some of it takes a while to get through. So feel free to just email me directly. I'm happy to answer questions. I also love talking to parents. So pick up the phone, call me. You can even text me. I know it gets really busy. It's hard to find a moment to have a phone conversation, but I am available. I'm available outside school hours right now in our preparation year. You can call me on Saturday. You can call me 6 o'clock at night if that's the only break that you have. Also, I really want to encourage you to follow us on Facebook because that's where we post. We've been doing a lot of sponsored activities. We've gone to children's museums, aquariums, the butterfly biosphere, zoos, and we're going to continue to do those activities. And where you find those activities is on Facebook. That's where we post them and where we post the sign up. They're sponsored by us, so they're not a charge to you. And it just brings everybody together so that you can meet us in person. You can ask questions in person. So our Facebook page is a great resource to follow so that you are always aware of any events that we're doing. Thank you, and I hope you will join us or come learn more about our school to figure out if it's a good fit for you.
Parents of young athletes or performers, does their busy schedule leave little room for traditional schooling? Elevated Charter School is your solution. We're an innovative virtual school crafted for students on the go, providing top-notch teacher-guided lessons paired with unparalleled flexibility. We promise safety, convenience, and a nurturing environment, all from the comfort of your home. At Elevated Charter School, we empower the next generation of stars, both in their passions and in academics. Students receive essential tools like laptops equipped with dedicated Wi-Fi and safety software, and develop crucial digital literacy and virtual safety skills.